welcome everyone to this exciting Translated event. Today, we'll give you an update about our products, services, and especially our new technologies. But I know that many of you are new to the language industry. And for that reason, I would like you to be introduced to our wonderful world by a little girl named Lara, that has the gift of speaking all the languages of this planet. So, welcome, Lara.
Tieni, prenditi il biscottino, tieni. Di papà. Come Daddy?
Di mamma. Nanai. E che vuol dire nanai, scusa?
Puoi dirmi come si dice questo in francese?
Maison.
E questo qui in russo?
Riba.
Ma avete parenti stranieri?
Dimmi, quante lingue sai?
Tutte.
Tutte. Anche il greco?
Sì.
Che apopotich series όλες αυτές τις γλώσσες?
Από μικρή.
Lara, non si capisce niente. Puoi tradurre per me la signora?
Hello ladies, the special of the day is Aunt Carmela's eggplant parmigiana.
We'll take it. Okay, sounds good.
Ripeti dopo di me. Welcome.
Oh, welcome.
Willkommen.
Willkommen.
Bienvenidos. One young, one nida.
One young and... Lara, io non ci riesco, non sono mica come te.
Sono felice di sedermi. Ora chiedo. Cosa ho detto? Una... Si chiede se ha qualcosa per sedersi. Sedersi? Ma è venuto per lavorare.
Lara!
Das ist Start. Das ist Geschwindigkeit.
Come questi cosa va ma da Cineca ordina molto
Andare molto calmo.
Che succede?
Arrivata. Lara, puoi spiegarmi quello che stanno dicendo?
C'è qualcuno fuori, sarà per te. Buonasera!
Ciao Lara. Ciao.
Chi è il primo?
Lara is reminding us that language is a gift, and we have to use it to allow everyone on our planet to understand and be understood. But let me start the event now that you get where we're coming from. So I want to start with something that is small, not the biggest announcement, something small, but it's very important for us. And these are the tools for our professional translators and multilingual creators. So some of you know that in 2010, we launched MadeKit. That was the first web-based translation tool to integrate AI into the process for translating text. It was helping professional translators to get help from a machine, receive suggestions, and create better translation faster. Today, we want to increase this family, and we want to launch MadeSub, a tool for subtitling. Same idea, same wonderful symbiosis between human and machine, but now attacking the subtitling work. And why we think this is absolutely needed? Because we think that the way people do subtitles today is completely broken. If you look and observe one translator doing the work, most of their time they're doing manual stuff, like deciding where the subtitles should start, where should end, making sure that there's not a cut in the scene in the middle, and then try to adapt the translation to fit the guidelines. Netflix, for example, 2 lines, 42 characters a line, 20 characters per second. This is manual task that has nothing to do to what they have been trained for and what they love to do. Crafting beautiful content that will make the original movie super interesting. But let's see how MadeKit works instead. made dub works. Made sub, sorry. So you upload the file, and what it does immediately, it will generate the transcription of all your files automatically, and will start one by one creating the subtitles for you at the perfect start, exactly when someone is starting to talk, not in the middle of a scene. And if you need to change something, if you need a specific style guide, you can use Netflix, but you can also create your own style guide to decide what is the readability of that subtitles. You build it, you set the standards, and the translation automatically will adapt to that standard. So that what is missing is finding the errors and go there and check it and correct it, magari. So once we attacked the subtitling, we said, okay, then why not dubbing? And today, we're also releasing the most powerful translation tool for dubbing videos. And again, dubbing also today is quite broken for different reasons. They're able to craft incredible dubbing, but it takes the work of many, many people working together. And for that reason, it takes a very long time. It can take up a month or 2 months to get a movie dubbed. You have to cast for the actors. You need to find people that's got the similar voice of the original actors. And maybe you have 20 actors. You need a voice match. And then you need to book a studio. And then you need to book the actor to make sure that they can go in the studio the same days where they have the scene to be shot together. And once you have done all this work and the mixing and everything, 1 month after, you discover a small problem. And in order to do it again, you have to go and bring everyone in the studio again. With MadeDub, we want to change that. A linguist from his house is able to do the entire workflow from A to Z. And this is how MadeDub works. Again, upload the file. And what MadeDub separate the tracks for every single voice. Get separated. And for every one of these voices, we are creating actually a unique AI model that speaks in every language with that voice. And when you find something you want to change, you just edit the text, and by doing that, you're generating and editing the voice.
Sarò sincero, a me piace molto, lo trovo fantastico ed è fatto davvero bene.
MadeDub is incredible, but I want to show you one content that was created to MadeDub, so you get an idea of the things you can deliver. And in this video, I'm showing you Beyoncé. Look at how her voice in every language is maintained, preserved with the same prosody, the same tone, the same timbre, and expressiveness. And how smooth is the transition between all the languages.
I don't have to prove anything to anyone. I only have to follow my heart and concentrate on what I want to say to the world. En tant que jeune femme, je voulais montrer l'exemple et montrer qu'il est possible d'être indépendante.
A volte non raggiungiamo le stelle, non arriviamo al massimo. すべきだと周りから言われて満足してしまうこともありますが、私にとっては十分ではないのです。
Incredibly high-quality content with no more studio bookings, no actor casting, no booking of actors, no complex licensing, no international soundtrack. You don't have to have the voices and the musics and the fat on separate tracks. The AI will extract the voice and rebuild those. And if you find the mistakes, you go there and you can edit in minutes. Today, MakeIt, MadeSub, and MadeDub. They are absolutely free, 100% free, for all the translators that are working on translated projects. And for everyone else that want to use it for their own projects, MakeIt will stay free, and MadeSub and MadeDub will start at just €50 a month. We believe we're bringing the symbiosis again outside text to the audiovisual work, because we strongly believe that humans and machines are better together. And by doing that, we think we're doing something very important. We know the pressure that is in our translators when they're translating text. The fact that the market demands them to be faster, higher quality at a lower cost. We want to build the tools that allow them to stay competitive in text, but we want to do something more. We want to create tools now for audiovisual so that they can expand into markets that they haven't been before. No linguist is now working in the dubbing industry. By doing that, not only they start working in the dubbing industry, they will capture the market from A to Z. We do believe that with this, many people will start dubbing and subtitling more content. And for that reason, obviously, once that our translator have this technology, we're also able to offer new services to our customers. So from today, we're offering subtitling in 200 languages and a higher quality, 30% cheaper and 30% faster than what we have been offering so far. And for dubbing, that's the revolution. We're shipping now services to our enterprise customer in 40 languages today with a perfect voice match. There is no more compromise in trying to find the actor that has a voice similar to the original. The original actor voice will be used in every single language, and it is 10 times cheaper and 10 times faster. Traditional dubbing is at 200 euro per minute. We're bringing this price down to 20 euro per minute. We're making dubbing as competitive as subtitles. But let me get into the reason why I called you today. We want to give you an update on the core AI technology that we've built. And in order to do that, I have to connect the dots that brought us here. The first thing is 2006. It looks funny, but it took us from 1999 to 2006 to figure out a way to make translators more productive using AI. In 2006, for the first time, we created a model that was helping translator rather than slowing them down. Every suggestion we were giving before 2006 was slowing down the translator. They took more time to edit the translation coming from the AI rather than translation from scratch. And that was a pivotal moment. That was possible because we went from rule-based machine translation to the statistical-based, the first form of machine learning, of AI. In 2010, we shipped MadeCut. This web-based cut tool integrated deeply machine translation and AI, and so we started collecting the corrections from the translators. And now for 15 years, we've been collecting this incredible data about what is wrong, what is right. In 2011, we delivered, again in MadeCut, the first ever adaptive machine translation system. For the first time, when a translator corrects an error, the AI will learn instantly so that they don't have to correct again and again and again the same mistake of the machine. This was the first application of real-time machine learning, actually a big translation model that was retrained in real time. In 2017, Modern MT, our machine translation technology, was the first ever application, commercial application of the transformer. In June 2017, the paper Attention is All You Need came out, and actually the same exact month, Modern MT was shipped using the transformer. The technology behind ChatGPT, Generative Pre-trained Transformer. First application ever, 2017. And in 2022, after a few years, we have been recognized by Gartner, Common Sense Advisory, and IDC as the best machine translation for enterprises. In this graph, IDC has positioned us in one place we're very proud. There, boom. A little dot translated. For the first time, a non-big tech is dominating a vertical of artificial intelligence. All this progress that we made over the years converted into this, a path to singularity. These are the amount of time that translators are spending correcting the errors from the machine. 3.5 seconds in 2015, and this is going down. And you see the blue line in the bottom, 1 second per word. This is the perfection. When you have a perfect translation, it takes about 1 second per word to just validate it, even if you don't have to change something. When we reach that point, this is what we call language singularity. We solved language translation. So, Transformer 2017, now there is a new opportunity. This opportunity is called large language models. They're introducing in the world of translation something incredible that we love. They're introducing the power of understanding context, reasoning, and they're fluent, extremely fluent in their translation, but they come with a problem that in the translation field is unacceptable, and these are called hallucinations. The fact that the machine does not obey to order. They will produce something so fluent that will look great, but probably is not the translation of the original. And so if you looked at it from a more strategic view, on one side, you had, before ChatGPT, you had basic language models that were very fluent, but not accurate at all. A lot of hallucination, just plausible text. They were not able to tell the truth. On the other side, you had machine translation that was accurate, but in order to be accurate, was extremely literal. The more accurate you wanted it, the more it looked very literal, at all fluent. So what happened, with Adaptive MT and ChatGPT, these two worlds from this came closer. ChatGPT became quite accurate, and Adaptive MT became quite fluent. And so if this is the path, why not combining these technologies together? And this is what we're presenting you today. A new architecture that combines large language models and translation model to take the best of the two worlds. The fluency, the reasoning, and the context capability of a language model, and the low hallucination of a machine translation model. But there is more. Because the model is so big and so intelligent, the model unlocked an incredible amount of new data. In many years, we had trained this model on sentence-level data sets. It means you take sentences one by one and you train the model. That's why, for example, if you use Google Translate, it will not understand context, because I've never seen context. Now, with this new architecture, we're training on full document. And so we can unlock the context, and more importantly, we can unlock one more thing. All the discussion, all the fights between the reviewer and the translator. In MakeIt, when a reviewer has to do a revision, they will add a comment to the segment, say, hey, dear translator, you made a mistake here. And the translator will complain, no, you haven't read the style guide. I said this because the style guide said that. And the reviewer said, no, in this context, this means this other thing. And so should be the translation. Those fights are the perfect data set to create a chain of thought, to teach machine how to reason about translation. And I talk it a lot. I want to do something very risky. I want to do you a live demo on what Lara is. I want to show you three forms of context. Let me start with the first one. First, La terra è rossa. English translation, the earth is red. Quite good. But you will see that Lara does something special. Probably small, I'll read it for you. The translation, the earth is red, accurately captured the meaning and tone of the original Italian sentence, La terra è rossa. I consider the soil is red, but choose earth to maintain the broader context. Lara is not able just to translate, is able to explain his choices, giving you trust in why you should use or not this translation. But so, let me provide more context to Lara. La coltivazione è andata bene. Let's see. It's not earth is red. Now became the soil is red. The cultivation went well. Let me check what Lara says. But soil better reflects the agricultural context. He used soil because it better reflects the agricultural context. This is a new type of machine translation that is able to leverage the context that is within the document you're translating. But unfortunately, we're not always easy. We're not always that lucky to have the context within the document. Sometimes, this is just a title. and you need to do a translation of that. You know something? I can provide the context in any way, and I can say it is about tennis. And now the clay is red. Lara supports explicit context in the document, implicit that you provide. But let me show you something more. One thing we really care about is that while you're translating, you may propagate biases. And one typical example is this. The nurse doctor are going to the hospital. L'infermiera e il dottore stanno andando in ospedale. English is a beautiful language, but it's simple. Italian has got feminine and masculine, and as every translation tool, this is propagating a bias. The nurse is a woman, the doctor is a man. But Lara is helping you, saying, hey, what do you really mean? Are you sure about that? You know something? In the reality, I don't know, because I'm translating this document. I don't know it. So what I want, I would like to be gender neutral. And so I say, be gender neutral. And so this becomes il personale infermieristico e il medico stanno andando in ospedale. Believe me, that's a great translation with gender agnostic. There is one more case of context, which is the most complex and it never worked, and that's why nobody wanted me to do the demo. But you know, we went around the world sailing. Imagine if a demo is a problem. Let's do it. The new iPhone. If you translate this, is il nuovo iPhone. There is no context. I'm not providing any kind of implicit, explicit context, nothing. In order to translate the iPhone in the way I'm showing you, you need to deeply understand what an iPhone is. So look what I do. Faithful? No. I would like a creative translation, please. L'iPhone che ti farà girare la testa. The iPhone that will make your head spin. Only if you understand deeply what Apple wants to achieve by creating the iPhone, you can translate this without context. Why is it possible? 10 trillion words coming from the internet. Even before starting the translation process, the model knows the internet exactly like a language model. Let me show you one last thing for all the creative people. We added here translation of documents. And so I'm not going to translate a Word file or a PowerPoint, that's too easy. That's the list of extension file formats that Lara supports. And I want to pick the most complex one. Let me pick an InDesign project. Okay? So I took a file from InDesign, the tool used by the graphic designers to craft beautiful content. And I asked for the translation. I'll show you what we are translating. So this is, let me preview it, that's in InDesign, the page. It's got a lot of complex formatting, beautiful design. This is coming from Imminent, our magazine. And so initially what you have to do is copy and paste every one of these strings. And what if you're translating it to German and you don't speak German, and there is a bold? Where do you put the bold? So today, if you want to do this, you go here, you download the files that has been just translated. I open it, and boom. Perfect desktop publishing, no errors. These things are live now, but I want to take a bigger risk, and I want to show you what we're going to ship in about a month in Lara. The progress of language model has been impressive, but also multimodal engines. Not only engines that can go from text to text. Why not using audio as a source of information? Believe me, before, translation tool that used audio were going from speech, converting it to text, then translating, and then going back to text. It was slow, and during that conversion, it was losing all the value all the elements in the audio. So let me call Lara.
Hello. Which languages would you like me to translate today?
Italian and English, please.
Great. I'm ready to translate between Italian and English.
È veramente una cosa meravigliosa poter fare questa presentazione nella mia lingua madre, quella in cui riesco a esprimere le mie emozioni.
It is truly wonderful to be able to make this presentation in my native language, the one in which I can express my emotions.
Lara is extremely fast and extremely powerful. And let's now get back into the presentation, because this is what text is what Lara is giving you today. Audio is what is giving you in a few weeks, but our research team is working also in other things. Is working about video conferencing in real time, and they really wanted to show you what they're working on. It may work, it may not work. We will see it next year, but we want to show you, preview, what the future of this may look like. Let me move this forward. Here's what they're working on.
Bonjour Kate.
Hi Enzo.
Ça va?
Oui, ça va.
C'est incroyable de vivre une époque où les barrières de la langue n'existent quasiment plus. Elle peut enfin communiquer sans limite en parlant librement avec n'importe qui.
的创造力啊！现在创作者们可以用人类的语言，随时发挥自己的创意，把作品展示给全世界了。
是的，这个太神奇了！来自全世界的人们可以无障碍直接沟通，分享想法、知识和经验。可以感受最直接、简单。
Sans obstacle, à travers les relations authentiques. C'est comme si nous avions ouvert un nouvel univers collaboratif.
We do this not alone at Translated, we do it with incredible partners. In this case, same way of MadeCat and Modern MT, we have put together the best researchers in the world in the field of machine translation, speech, and video. 30 people that have been working together, that will be working together for 3 years, thanks to the great support of European Commission. So, what we have today, Lara is by far the largest translation model ever created. And also is the most reliable translator because it's able to explain its choices. It was trained on 1.2 million hours of GPUs, 15 years of unique data, completely different from the past data that we were used to train machine translation. And we're taking the best machine translation and LLM research, merge it together. We definitely want to thank NVIDIA for this. We've been working with NVIDIA as partners for many years now, and during the last contract, they gave us the opportunity to have access to their new training infrastructure, DGX Cloud. And so with that, we were able to train Lara. Obviously, we need to thank also some people in the team here, especially Simone Perone, Davide Caroselli, and their teams for the incredible work that they have done in delivering this. Like me, they're the front people. But who made the nights, every single night, for the past 3 weeks to deliver this demo was Romolo Bondestino and Marco Ilari. So thank you so much. You know, but this is blah, blah, blah. We need to see the numbers, how Lara is performing. And I tell you, it's the best translation out there. So this is the performance of all the models out there, Google, GPT-4, and DeepL. In general finance, technology, and tourism. This is Lara, as evaluated by professional translators on 2,700 sentences. Boom. A completely breakthrough in machine translation. For that reason, we don't consider Lara, we don't compare Lara with machine translation. we're trying to understand how does it compare with human translation. Typical machine translation last year, including modern MT, was making 11 errors per 1,000 words in what is called the translation conversational task. So simple tests, like reviews, product description, and chat between users. No complex stuff. 11 errors per 1,000 words. The average professional translator in the world is making 4.6 errors every 1,000 words. The top 1%, the best translators, the one that everybody wants to work with, makes 1.2 errors per 1,000 words. This is what we call language singularity, because when we reach that place, the entire industry is changed. Guess where Slara is now? Boom. 2.5 errors per 1,000 words. Is an incredible achievement, and it does not play anymore into the machine translation space. But serving large enterprises has been our work for Translator for many, many years. And we always gave this technology to the best and biggest translation tech companies in the world. And so you're all users of our technology, but very often through a big tech that is integrating our technology in their workflow. So from today, we think that we should give this tool to more people. And for that reason, we're announcing that from today, at lara.translator.com, everyone from every country can have access to Lara. And you can have access for free, for a good amount of translation. And if you get serious about translation, you can translate at just $9 or 29 euro, actually, these are euros, per month. For our translators, MadeCat will be available in MadeCat for free from December 15. And Lara, for our large enterprises, that I hope they're watching us from San Francisco, they're all there, Lara is also available for you from today. 2 new service types. Lara for text in Translation OS for $15 a megabyte, and you get the response guaranteed 99% of the time in below 2.5 seconds, and Lara documents at $100 per megabyte in just 5 minutes. That graph that you have seen going to 1% to the singularity posed us a lot of questions. And the main question is, now we know that creating larger model with higher quality data, reasoning data can unlock a lot of potential in translation tools, but how big and how much data do we need in order to achieve that 1% equivalence? Well, these are called scaling laws in machine learning, and we did it. And so 0.9, statistical machine translation, 40 errors per 1,000 words. Then we went from 25, down, down, down. Lara, that we're shipping today, is there at 2.5, and we expect, in the bottom there is the flops, which is a measure of the computational cost of training this model. More data, more GPU hours means more flop. Lara Grande, it needs to be 20 million hours of compute with the data that we already have. If we do that, we can achieve the top 1% of translator quality. And what I want to tell you today, that yes, we're shipping Lara today to all of you, but this week we started the training of Lara Grande. These 20 million hours of training started already. And we expect that from there, we will go there. Now, you may think, wow, it's over. What do we do? What kind of presentation Marco will give next year? If we solve that, is translation over? No, I think that we are underestimating the importance of humans in this process. This is just text translation, and it's just conversational translation, relatively easy part of the work. In order to understand why language is so hard for a machine, is that because it's the most human thing we have. And the only way for me to explain you this is through another video, call it the human touch. Enjoy human touch.
You catch on, make sense of it all. You watch and you show, and then you just know face to
Creating the universal translator will unlock the latent demand in translation. There is only a small portion of content in the internet that is translated. And that is because translation is slow, is expensive, and low quality. If we solve this problem, we can unlock an incredible amount of content. So we see a very positive futures for our translators, both in text, audiovisual, and everything that is needed to do. But we also know that delivering this model may change the industry. And so next year, we'll have to face new challenges. And we have a strong social responsibility at Translated. And because of that, we made some decisions. And I'm not going to spoil those because I want to introduce you Alessandro Fusacchia, our Vice President for Social Impact.
Thank you, Marco. I'll make a few remarks on singularity and social impact in a while. Grazie. I would like to, first of all, to welcome our first guest, Jonathan Cohen, Vice President of Applied Research at NVIDIA, joining us from the US. Let's see if he shows up. I never understand why Marco does 30 minutes presentation. It's perfect. I come here and...
Because I'm breaking it.
Ah, you're breaking it, you know. Here is John.
Can you hear me?
Hello, John. Can you hear me?
Hello. I can
Good.
hear you.
Good.
Okay, there we go.
Wonderful. Thanks for being with us. It's 10 a.m. in San Francisco, so good morning, first of all. I'd like to ask you a few questions to build on what Marco just presented. First of all, as a reminder for everybody, Jonathan Cohen is Vice President of Applied Research at NVIDIA, where he's the engineering leader of the NeMo platform. He focuses on incubating new AI technology into products, including NIMS, BioNeMo, LLM alignment, speech-language models, NeMo guardrails, foundation models for human biology and genomics analysis. Jonathan has spent a total of 14 years at NVIDIA in a variety of engineering and research roles, with a 3-year stint at Apple in the middle. So I start straightforward, John. Technology can be extremely valuable to empower people. In our specific case, to help people communicate. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, all people do all day long is communicate with each other. Like, that is what it means to be human. That's what it means to really do anything. You know, regardless of your profession, your age, your nationality, what you do is talk to each other. You know, entertainment, watching a movie, listening to actors speak to each other, or playing games with your friends. Education is just listening to someone teach you, and what is teaching? It's, again, communicating. Professional, right now, what we are doing right now is communicating with each other. And so I think the essential nature of being human and the essential human activity is communication. This ability for automated systems to understand us and to communicate back is truly revolutionary, and it's really very new. You know, it's only been the last, I don't know, certainly within the last decade that we had machines that could understand us at all, you know, in any level that made sense. And I think the just incredible progress over especially the last few years of the ability for these computing systems to understand us is changing the world. I think what's really remarkable about it is, you know, in the early days of computers, humans learned how to speak computer language, you know, starting from punch cards to programming languages to even more recently, you know, you learn how to click to the menus and use your mouse and operate your computer. And that's because computers didn't understand us, and that's really shifting now. We have computers that actually speak human languages and can understand humans. And so we can be ourselves, and we can be the humans we are, where we communicate with each other, and computers now can listen to us, interact with us, understand us, and kind of meet us on our own turf. And this is having profound, tremendous impact on the ability of people to access technology across the world and each other. All the work with large language models, translation, speech models, all of this is really changing the world.
As we have just heard from Marco's presentation, the collaboration between Translated and NVIDIA has led actually to quite a breakthrough innovation and a significant step forward in translation AI. How do you feel about this?
Well, I was just speaking about human language, but there's no one human language. There are many, many human languages. And humans naturally can't necessarily all understand each other. And I think what's so remarkable about having computers that can understand humans is these computers can help us communicate with ourselves too. And this facilitation of more people being able to communicate and speak and share emotions and their stories and their knowledge and their passions and their skills and their lives with each other, I think is really transformative. I think this is going to change society in ways we can barely anticipate. We're already used to being able to travel. Many depends for the most part. Most countries people travel to, they can already have this sort of pocket translator in their phone. We're already getting used to that as this thing that makes it much easier to go places that you couldn't have gone before. But I think that's just barely scratching the surface. Unlocking education, entertainment, commerce, tourism, across just the entire world, across all cultures, is a very exciting future.
Let me ask you a last question about language and AI. Language is at the core of AI. We are all got familiar with the expression large language models. We know that machine translation, research on machine translation is behind generative AI. So my question is, what role is NVIDIA playing, and what role will NVIDIA increasingly play in all of this?
Well, NVIDIA fundamentally is a computer science company. We are a collection of computer scientists, and our contribution to the world is our expertise in computer science and bringing all this incredible technology into products. At the heart of all modern AI systems, including Lara, but everything that people are excited about these days is a tremendous amount of really hard computer science. Networking, computer architecture, compression algorithms, numerical methods, parallel methods, the interconnects that are used to train models, the hardware that's used at inference time, the algorithm, just this whole stack of technology is just incredibly complicated. And our role in this world, what NVIDIA's contribution is we try to solve these really hard computer science problems, which enables all the amazing work from the companies like Translator that are building at the top of that stack of technology. This is like encapsulated in our products like DGX Cloud, which was mentioned earlier, our GPUs like H100, our upcoming Blackwell, but it includes things that probably most people haven't even heard of, like software like cuDNN and TensorRT, which are these really important pieces somewhere in the middle of that layer cake of technology that are developed by NVIDIA that make everything run faster and more efficiently and more effectively and deliver tremendous value. And each generation of hardware and each release of our software, we're bringing even more computational power to bear on these problems that are enabling more and more powerful AI techniques to be used. And so that's really our contribution here.
Thanks a lot, John. I will ask you to stay a bit more because now I'm very much interested to hear what our next guest thinks, including about your remarks. So I would like to invite Francesco Ubertini, president of Cineca, to please join me here on stage. So thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Just a reminder, Francesco Ubertini is leading Cineca since 2021. Previous to that, he was the rector of the University of Bologna between 2015 and 2021, and he's a civil engineer. He's a professor of structural mechanics, and he has a passion for computational mechanics.
Yeah.
Did I get it right? The first question I would like to ask you is basically on what we have just heard from the vice president of NVIDIA. So he was making some remarks. If you remarks, what's your initial reaction to his thoughts and to what he was saying?
Yes, first of all, thank you. Thank you for your invitation. So my first reaction is that this time is very interesting, and we are experiencing an unprecedented phase marked by extraordinary opportunities that are going to reshape our future. And so I think that it's up to us to turn all of this into reality, to make this vision happen, and to use these technologies for the common good. And just two more remarks. The first one that is really impressive to me is about time. Everything is happening very, very fast, faster than we have ever experienced in the past. So I have many questions about that. Are we ready to all of this? And so also many challenges to face. And the second point is that we should work together. We should work together. We should join forces to play a role in this new landscape. And so I think and I hope that this will be the direction, so to take full benefit of this from these technologies.
Before we move on, I would like to offer a few remarks, a slightly broader perspective to frame our conversation, and I think it goes into the direction that you were mentioning. And actually, as we learned from Marco's presentation, we are approaching singularity faster than expected, and this idea that people will be able to understand and be understood in their own language is extremely powerful. And just think for a while. Imagine a world where people have access to high quality, instant, and substantially extremely affordable translation. Clearly, this is not going to happen all at once, at the same time, for everybody and everywhere. We are very close to singularity for some language pairs, while more time will be required for others. But the overarching question for all is, what does this unlock for individuals? What level of collaboration, both within and between cultures, different cultures and countries, will this enable? How many new things we will be able to do once we achieve this singularity, which we previously considered unfeasible? And as you were mentioning, are we ready for this? Now, the technology seems quite ready, but what about people? Are people ready to make use of it? This is why any discussion, from our point of view, on the social impact of this technology must begin with the following question. How do we create global awareness around a new culture of possibility? We have seen today how it's already possible to have a live voice translation. Some of you may have thought of a lost tourist in a remote country, but what if that was a conversation taking place in a hospital between a seriously injured or sick person and a doctor who needs to understand as quickly as possible what happened and how to intervene? Marco, a few minutes ago, showed us video calls. How could video calls easily be carried out between people speaking different languages? And what about if what you saw was not a business meeting, but a meeting between two students, or even better, between two classes from two schools in two different parts of the world? You can easily see how AI-powered solutions are already having, or may soon have, a positive impact on the daily lives of many people. If directed towards real needs and the right causes, AI can indeed make a difference in a world that is still too divided and too unequal. Final point. As language becomes the hearth of AI developments, we must ensure that native knowledge of any single language doesn't become an unfair advantage. Because yesterday, you needed to talk to people who were native speakers of other languages only if you were leaving your home and maybe going abroad. But today, no global justice can be pursued unless we allow everybody from their homes to access information and knowledge and to have exchanges with other people far away in the language they know best. We have therefore decided to focus the next imminent annual report and our upcoming social impact activities in general on exploring these issues, as they clearly do not concern only those in our industry or language researchers. And above all, this is why we place great value in our partnership with Cineca, which we are very proud of, and I'm extremely thankful to President Ubertini, to Alessandra Poggiani, and all the team at Cineca for the quality of the Italian and European research that we are going to conduct together, and for the broader impact that this research will have. And that's why we are very happy that President Ubertini is with us today. So before we go into the partnership, let me ask you, and take advantage of your presence, to ask you about Cineca. So how do you see Cineca's role, as a powerful infrastructure, hub, research community in tackling the challenge of AI in the next, let's say, 3 to 5 years?
Okay, just a few words about Cineca. Cineca is a consortium made of more than 100 institutions, public institutions. All the Italian universities and the research institutes are part of Cineca. And it is a little bit older than me, because it was funded at the end of 60s because 4 universities decided to join forces to create the first supercomputing center. And since then, Cineca is the Italian supercomputing center and one of the main nodes of the European supercomputing infrastructure. So, in short, what's the role of Cineca? We are a research infrastructure, so we support researchers using our supercomputing facilities. So we manage supercomputers. Our top supercomputer now is called Leonardo, as hosted in Bologna, Leonardo da Vinci. And so infrastructure and high-level team of experts, that's the real capital we have. So we are a research infrastructure, but we are also a platform for innovation to support companies. And we are also a hub, as you said, for the community of researchers and innovators in advanced digital technologies. And that's what we are now, and I think that in the next year, our mission will remain the same, but we are shifting, we are working right now, because due to the AI driving force, the demand to access our infrastructure is almost exploding. And so we are shifting our organization from a, let's say, classical supercomputing center, if I can use the word classical in this case, towards what I could call an AI factory. So a factory that is equipped with the next generation of AI-optimized supercomputers and data facilities, and most of all, more structured services to better support the research community, to make innovation scaling up faster, and to offer our support to SMEs and startups. So that's the shifting that is going to happen. Indeed, we are already at work on that.
This explains a lot what you were mentioning when you were saying we have to work together, indeed. So
Sure. We are a consortium that we used to be a partner with the domain experts. Our collaboration from physics to medicine to translations.
Good. Now let's share this news. Translated and Cineca have signed an important agreement to do substantive and extensive research together. What does this agreement consist of?
Yes, Marco showed you the trend of the activity of Translated. So yes, we signed a research collaborative agreement and the aim is to make a further step in the translation technologies powered by AI, and so to train the most advanced large translational model in the world, using joining forces. So we believe that we can do the next step because of the high quality data set that of translated. So Marco mentioned it before, collected over 15 years of activity, and thanks to the joint teams with high talent people, and because of our unique computing power that we've made available to the project. And as you can imagine, to train the model, a huge amount of computation is needed, and we estimate for this step 10 million of core hours. And so just to understand what it means, it means that if we use just one single GPU, it will take more than 100 years. But fortunately, Leonardo is equipped with thousands of GPUs, so maybe
it will take less.
We will have some, we hope, good news for next year. And so it's a quite interesting collaboration. And last but not least, the Italian English version will be released open source, and also the ways of the model will be open as well. So that's from our point of view, this is very important because everybody will be able to use it free of charge, and most of all, to build upon it their own applications.
So just to conclude on this, you are saying that the agreement is about, let's say, in 2025, next year, at some point,
1 year,
when it's over the research, we will be releasing open source and open weights, the Italian English and English Italian. So of course, you know, this goes as a benefit to everybody potentially. But how do you see the potential benefit for part of the ecosystem we care a lot, like, you know, public administrations, universities, research centers, you know?
Yeah, I think that
what's the message we want to send to them today?
Breaking down the language barrier for Italian-speaking people, the English barrier. English is the medium language for any communication in a global society, but very too often this is a limit for the individual potential, is a limit to communicate as in our native language, because it tends to oversimplify, to narrow our capacity of expression. And so I think that there are a lot of applications in all the sector that you mentioned and others. I can grasp just partially what are the implications, but I think to all the interactions of the public administration or from municipalities with people, with international people, I think to the tourism sector, to the entertainment sector, to companies that would like to compete in the international landscape, to the education sector, particularly universities. That's a field that I know quite well. And so all the universities are working hard to create a more international student community to attract international students. And but international students are attracted by Italy, but they look for courses given in English. And it's not so easy to create an offering given in English together with the courses that we should give in Italian, with the same professors, and to guarantee the same quality of teaching, both in Italian or in English. So let's imagine which kind of opportunities this tool will have for this sector. So I will be the first user.
We value a lot this partnership because we shared this awareness about the fact, as you were saying, that there are a lot of implications. We don't know how many, which directions, but for sure there will be a lot of implications, a lot of opportunities. And so the idea is that, Translator is a company, Cineca is a public consortium, but we share the idea that we need to bring these issues, these topics, these opportunities much broader because we are reaching that singularity Marco was talking to. So thanks a lot for being with us. I would like to thank Vice President Cohen and President Ubertini for their collaboration and the thoughts they shared. The forthcoming months look promising, not just for those in the industry or doing research on translation AI. And Translated will strive to stay at the forefront of technological developments and to share all the knowledge that we have accumulated over time to make sure that more and more people are aware of the giant steps we have been discussing and can benefit from this process. So thank you for your time and goodbye.